We welcome you back to Mount Pleasant, Michigan, as we're getting ready for a 4-rounder. It'll be Brandon Little Giddens taking on Frederico Flores Jr. Let's get the official introductions from our ring announcer, Andre Cordomage.
Ladies and gentlemen, this next bout will be contested in the super lightweight division and is scheduled for 4 rounds. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 141 pounds and sports a professional record of 2 victories and 1 loss, with 1 of his wins by way of knockout. Fighting out of Muskegon, Michigan, please welcome Frederico Flores Jr. And his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, this young man is making his professional debut. He weighed in at 140½ pounds and hails from Monroe, Michigan. Please say hello to Brandon Little.
Gentlemen, you're given your instructions in the dressing room. Listen to my commands, obey my commands. Turn around a little bit, Fred. Okay, both your belt lines are fine. Protect yourself at all times. Touch them up. Good luck to both of you.
Well, we are set now for 4 rounds as Brandon Little making his professional boxing debut against Frederico Flores Jr. in the red trunks. That's Brandon Little with the Mexican-American flag trunks. And there's the belt. And Steve, an interesting fact between these two is they've met in the amateurs. In fact, they fought 3 times, and Giddens got the upper hand.
Yeah, they fought 3 times. They were good fights in the amateurs. They were very close. Both of these fighters know each other very well. So normally when you make a pro debut, you have a little bit of nerves because you don't know what to expect. In this case, Brandon Little knows exactly what to expect. And you can see that both of them are coming out and they're not giving an inch.
Both fighters did have extensive amateur careers. Right now, it's both fighters coming at each other. Frederico Flores considers himself a boxer-puncher.
Yeah, and they can fight this fight in a phone booth. I mean, both of them are standing toe-to-toe. They're exchanging left and rights inside and some uppercuts thrown in there. But I think right now Flores is getting a little bit of the advantage. Oh, good body shot.
Yeah, going to the body. And right now going upstairs is Giddens.
Yeah, Giddens, he's headhunting a little bit, but Frederico Flores, to me, is doing a good job of working downstairs to the body. It's very rare young fighters invest in the body, especially in a 4-round fight. But those body shots can really take their toll even a couple of rounds later.
Giddens has been training with Bronco McCart to get ready for this fight. In fact, Bronco's father, Gene McCart, working in his corner as he right now is missing and back into the ropes there.
Yeah, I think Flores landed a good combination. I actually think he stunned him a little bit there.
Stop wrestling, guys, so you step up.
And Giddens looking somewhat composed here. Yeah, for his first professional fight.
Jim,
very
watch your hands in close.
And I think part of that is because for him, it's probably just an extension of those other 3 fights. It's just a 4-part, 4th chapter in the series of these guys having a rivalry. And a good right-hand counter landed by Flores there. I think it stung him a little bit.
Flores 2-1 right now. One of those 2 wins by way of knockout.
Yeah, one thing he's doing I don't like, and a lot of young fighters do, they can get away with it in the amateurs. They keep that left hand low, almost inviting the other guy in and trying to counter him. But many times a guy that has some fast hand speeds counters you and gets you.
And we come now to the final moments of round number 1. This one's scheduled for 4.
Listen to me, man. Listen, relax. Listen. Listen, you're loading up a little bit too much with that hook, all right? Now listen to me. Relax and box. You got to put some combination to get a hand speed. You're reaching for this dude. He's there for you. Listen, relax. Put the combination together. Your hand speed is so much more superior, okay? Straighten them legs out.
Poquita agua. Espérale. ¿No quieres agua? ¿Te sientes bien o no, mijo? Esta pelea le podemos ganar, mijo, fácil de tiro, le está dando lento. Concéntrate bien, cuando estés haciendo ahí, la derecha, con la cena, pum, doble derecha de cena, pero tenlo ahí, cuando estés, métele los ganchos, de derecha de abajo, los ganchos, pero acomódate.
Round number 2. This one's scheduled for 4. Brandon Little Giddens in the Mexican-American flag trunks, and that's Francisco Flores in the red trunks.
And Flores has found a home for the left hook, both to the midsection and upstairs.
Both fighters trying to establish a jab here.
Yeah, they're both technically doing a very good job for young fighters. They're both trying to work in behind the jab, maintaining a fairly tight defense, trying to parry the other jabs. To me, the difference between Flores and Giddens is Flores also works downstairs as well as coming up. And I think his punches may have a little bit more on them.
Certainly was a close first round. How would you have that one scored, Steve?
I thought it was a very close round, but I thought Flores got the advantage just as I think he got the advantage there. Flores landed a nice right hand. I think Giddens may have been stunned a little bit, and I think he's come out here in the second round and has swung things his way so far in the first part of the second round. But I gave the Flores the first round. You can make a case for Giddens. It's a close, competitive fight. Both fighters have come to win, but I think Flores so far has the advantage, and I think he has the advantage here in the second round. And I actually think he hurt Giddens a little bit in the earlier part of this round. And then he just dropped a nice right hand over the top.
Well, it's certainly been a competitive fight thus far.
It has been competitive, but to me a slight edge to Flores. I also noticed that Flores is coming in when he's in close quarters and rubbing his head on Giddens. You know, oh, he just caught a left jab right on the cheek. You know, Flores had the momentum, but Giddens actually landed a nice stiff left jab right on the chin of Flores, and it seemed like he's not only got his attention, but stopped him in the track. So there's been a slight shift in momentum here in the second round, and a good right hand followed by a left hook by Giddens.
And it stumbled Flores there slightly.
I thought I saw his knees buckle. I think he's hurt. He's holding on a little bit, so a round that was his round is now turned. I mean, this is when you have an evenly matched fight. You're going to have an ebb and flow, and that's what we have in this fight. It's good action. Both fighters going toe-to-toe. Both have been hurt. Now Flores comes back. Giddens just lands a nice left hook.
Certainly has been very entertaining thus far. Yeah, this one's scheduled for 4 rounds. We're in round number 2.
And you notice Giddens has changed and become the aggressor. He was the one on the receiving end of a lot of the punches, but Flores, to his credit, just landed another good body shot. Again, Flores works the body, and I don't see Giddens doing that much. There's a little bit of a stumble there by Giddens. I don't think it was from a punch. I think their feet actually got tangled up. I think both fighters are clear-headed at this point.
And we now come to the final moments of this second round. It's a good one.
Let's get in here. Sit down. Sit down. Straighten the legs out. Good round. Good round. Brandon, relax, relax. Listen. You gotta put more punches early on together. Put your combinations together. Hand speed. Jab your way in. You ain't listen. Stop jabbing at his head. Jab at his chest right here. Jab, jab, jab. Drop that right hand. Get inside. Bang, 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 bang. And then sit down on your shots when you get inside. You gotta bend your knees. Right. And you gotta
hurt him with the body shot.
You hurt him with that body shot. Man. But don't load up. Don't load up early on.
¿Cómo andamos? ¿Qué? ¿La paramos o qué? Pues tienes que guacharle porque el vato ya se te está subiendo arriba, te está perdiendo el respeto. Tienes que usarme ese jab, tienes que trabajarme ese jab y recta de derecha. Úsala, pum, pum, y aviéntalo, pum, záfate. No te quedes en las cuerdas.
We move now to round number 3. Brandon Little Giddens and Francisco Flores Jr.
And Flores comes out with a flurry to the body, again investing in the body, which is very wise for a young fighter. Oh, and he lands a right hand right over the top of that lazy jab of Giddens. I think it stunned Giddens a little bit. He's followed it up with both a left and right hook to the head.
And a jab there.
And Giddens comes back with a good stiff jab of his own. Both fighters utilizing the jab, and they're doing so in a way that's very effective. They have good technique. They're putting good force behind the jab, and it's setting up their other punches in combination. Both fighters at this point trading left hooks.
Flores runs 4 miles a day to stay in shape.
Well, you need to be in shape to maintain this pace. This is a very fast pace. Even though it's a 4-rounder, you still use up a lot of energy. They're throwing a lot of leather, and not only are they throwing a lot of leather, they're doing so with a lot of force behind the punches, and that uses up a lot of energy. I just noticed ever so slightly a little bit of fatigue because Giddens is holding on. And that could be a sign that he's trying to catch his breath. At the same time, he's catching some punches. He just took a right hand lead right to the chin. And you notice right after Flores, Giddens does hold on. But Giddens counters now with a good right hand of his own.
Certainly a lot of action here thus far. Tom Schreiber and Steve Munisteri with you ringside. Glad you could join us here in Mount Pleasant, Michigan.
Oh,
And a left hand
and if you notice,
lands solid.
one of the very rare left hooks to the body was thrown by Giddens, and that set him up to throw the left hook upstairs, and that momentarily stunned Flores. It probably was the best combination that Giddens has thrown for the entire fight. I don't know if it's enough to win the round, though, because Flores has been more active here in the second. Oh, good stiff jab by Flores. Another stiff jab. Flores now on his bicycle some, using lateral movement to get away from the right hand of Giddens and then counter with his own left
And there's a left hook.
They both threw left hooks at the same time. I think Giddens got the better of it because now Flores is holding on. It's a very close round.
Did back up a little bit there after that shot. And another, this one to the chin. But Flores not hurt.
Step back clean.
And that's a slip. Flores quickly back up on his feet.
And a warning from the judge. He thought he threw him down intentionally.
Let's put them legs up. Keep this guy back up this whole round. This last round, you got to win this one. Give me that. You all right?
Gotta have it. Come on, nose.
Ground to this guy. Make that bastard back up just like you've been doing.
Look, baby, get this. This is it. You got to have this one, okay? Now listen, Brandon, you're waiting a little bit too long with your jab. Pump it. You're waiting on him. Jab, which keeps him on the defensive. And then once he backs up, set him up. You drop it. Also, you shooting that right hand over the top. Drop it down.
Esta pelea tenemos que llevarnos aquí, nada más que necesitamos llevarnos la pelea, amigo. Salte por un lado, trabaja un poquito para que descanses. Trabaja un poquito.
And we are set now for the fourth and final round. Brandon Little Giddens and Frederico Flores Jr. And Steve, through three, we've seen a lot of action. How do you have this one scored?
I had this fight dead even. I have 1 round apiece and 1 round even. They're very close competitive rounds, which also have an ebb and flow, so it makes them tough to judge. I think you can make a case for either fighter winning the round.
And right now,
Oh
looks
my
to be
gosh.
a cut over the left eye of Giddens.
Terrible cut. His blood is streaming down the left side of his face. The question will be, is that blood in the eye so that it prevents him from seeing? If the blood is streaming down, but it's streaming down away from the eye, they'll probably let him finish the 4th round. But if it's going into that eye and keeping him from seeing, the doctor may call it. I think he's going to say he's okay.
In fact, this fight is going to continue. Brandon Little Giddens here making his pro debut It's Frederico Flores Jr. and the leather is flying right here.
Not only is the leather flying, Tom, but the heads are flying. Flores is using his head to put right on that cut. Giddens, I think, senses urgency because he could get stopped by the cut. So both of them are letting left hooks and straight rights going. And we're seeing toe-to-toe action. And as you see, the blood is just streaming down the side of Giddens' face. So he knows that. He can feel that, and he doesn't want the fight stopped. If nothing else, he wants to show the ref he's okay and he can continue. He's showing tremendous heart, and he's really pressing the action here in the 4th round. But this is a very close round. This round probably will decide the winner of the fight.
It has been a close fight. Both fighters
good right
showing
hand.
a lot of heart here tonight. As that blood continues to stream down the left eye of Brandon Little Giddens.
And there's also blood coming out of his nostril. So he's bleeding from the mouth, from the eye. What a warrior, though. He continues to come forward. He's trying to be the aggressor. He's letting his hands go. You notice there that he turned Flores back so he could get into the position of aggression. He's coming forward. He's taking a lot of punishment coming forward, but he's also dishing out punishment. He just landed a right hand. Now Flores lands a left hook. It's up for grabs. The last 30 seconds could determine. Giddens just landed a right fall by a counter left. But look at that blood, Tom.
The referee taking another look at it and letting this continue.
Well, it'd be a shame for him to stop it here because Giddens is really in the fight. He may be the winner. It's very close. It could go either way. Let him fight it out. There's never been a fighter that and it hurt Flores. It buckled his knees. He's still hurt. This probably gives Brandon the round. Another left hook. Flores is really hurt. 2 left hooks right on the chin. It's a good thing this fight was not stopped from the cut because in my card, this gives the round to Giddens unless something dramatic happens in the last minute, and Giddens will emerge on my card the victor if he wins this last round.
Break.
And we now are coming to the final moments of this 4th and final round. It's been a good one. Who will become the winner? We'll find out in just a few moments. As Brandon Little Giddens making his pro debut here tonight in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Certainly had a tough opponent in Frederico Flores Jr. Both fighters showing a lot of heart and determination. And it was a close fight, so we are awaiting the decision. And let's take a look at what happened, how Brandon Little Giddens got cut during that fight. And there's that right hand that might have caused that cut right there. As the fight did continue, the physician took a look at the cut. It was a tough pro debut for Brandon Little Giddens. Frederico Flores Jr. right now getting an ovation from the crowd, and well-deserved. A very entertaining fight. I'm sure both of these fighters will have very good careers in the pro ranks. As we anxiously await the decision. Now remember, these two met in the amateurs 3 times, and Brandon Little Giddens won 2 out of 3. Now both of them trying to make a name for themselves here in the pro ranks. Well, let's not wait. Let's get the official decision. Here's our ring announcer, Andre Kordamash.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 4 rounds of sensational action, we go to the scorecards. All 3 judges scored about 39-37 for your winner by unanimous decision, Brandon Little!
Congratulations to Brandon Little Giddens. And we'll be back with more from Mount Pleasant, Michigan.